What did you do, Albert? Nothing. What could I do? Did Eric know that Frank was my brother? Yes, I told him. What did he say? Good. They drove Frank away in a car. Is that all there is? Yeah. That's it then. Jack, for Christ's sake. For Christ's sake. You knew what I'd do, didn't you, Al? Listen. Christ, I didn't kill him. I know you didn't kill him. I know!
Welcome to Flyby Films. Once or twice a month, using the magic of distance-defying tubes or some shit like that, we get together to discuss films that either have been or will be forgotten. I'm your host, Blake Collier, and sitting next to me in this tiny box is my friend and co-host, Jamison Barsotti. On this episode, we are going to talk about Four Brothers. I've actually got some stories about this film. I feel like we should save it for the actual discussion. But this film is directed by John Singleton, a director I've always kind of admired and loved, even though he is now transcended the human coil. And he is no longer making films. Well, he might be making them in heaven. You never know. I don't know if heaven has films. If it does, they probably suck, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, if the Christian films of today are any indication of what the Christian films of eternity will be like, then
it just kind of makes you wonder, like, if heaven has films, are they all just like happy, joyful films? Because if that's the case, it's gonna be a very dull cinema.
Yeah. I mean,
because the foibles and flaws of humanity is what makes cinema. It's what makes film.
It also puts the sin in cinema.
This is true. It also puts the sin in Cinemax, or as I used to call it, Skinemax. Yep.
I think that is one of the big theological questions, right? Will there be compelling stories in heaven if you don't have any struggles?
There is literally very little evidence in the Bible about heaven and what anything about it's going to be like. The one thing I will say that gives me a little bit of hope that there might be compelling stories in heaven is that they make it very well known that the quote-unquote resurrection body of Jesus Christ has scars. So maybe it's not a present tense suffering, but a looking back on the formation of the scars that made us who we are.
So there will be a lot of ghost stories? Is that what you're saying?
And that is why heaven is a good place to live, because ghost stories are the bomb.
All right. I could dig that. Go to heaven. There's a lot of ghost stories.
Hey. Or go to hell. I mean, that's its own horror story, right?
That's true.
I mean, do people still believe in that? Am I the only person who still believes in hell? I feel like I probably am at this point.
You are the only person on this podcast who believes in hell. I'll say that.
Well, not. It also depends on how we define hell, because I don't believe in the Dante-esque like burning flames and endless torture idea of hell. That seems a little bit. I don't know, a bit too literary, a little too Shakespearean for my taste.
What if it was? What if it was like that, but they constantly had heavy metal playing in the background?
That sounds like a really great place to be.
Does it become more believable? That might
no.
actually be what heaven is like.
I mean, that would be too tempting, though. That's the problem. Is like people would want to go to hell if there was heavy metal playing there. I mean, come on. As opposed to harps. I mean, who wants to listen to that shit?
I know. Well, I mean, I love me some Joanna Newsom, and she is a harpist.
Yeah, but she sings really sad songs, so that's not really like...
Also, I was describing it to my friends, and I was like, it's not really my thing because it's not very punk rock. But then I stopped, and I was like, I guess writing 17-minute songs primarily featuring the harp is actually pretty punk rock.
I would say it's more punk rock than most punk rock is.
Yeah. It's got a lot of throwing caution to the wind there. So
yeah. No, I'm more of the garbage heap kind of like C.S. Lewis' Great Divorce. Like everyone's a little pale in hell, or like they're just not fully themselves.
Also, throwback to Coen Brothers, Trash Island.
Exactly.
Hades.
Yeah. That's what we're talking. That's my idea of hell. Is that it's not nothing about it is like fearsome. It's more just like people just being okay with just being semi there and pale and like not fully like alive. It's just kind of, they're just accepting of their lesserness, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like C.S. Lewis. He says, we settle for making mud pies instead of going on a trip on an island somewhere, or something like that. I don't remember. That was a very shitty paraphrase, but something similar to that. We are accepting of something very. It's good in and of itself, but it's not the greatest. It's not the ultimate.
Yeah, I think C.S. Lewis is used to being paraphrased shittily, consistently. I think he, in the early days of the internet, I feel like C.S. Lewis was one of the authors who was like misquoted the most.
Oh, he still is.
Do you remember? There's a couple famous memes. One of them is like, you're not a body and a soul. You are.
Yes, I do. And he never said anything remotely.
He never said anything like that, and it's just the dumbest quote. It's not even worth remembering, which is why.
True story. John Cusack did retweet that meme, and I lost a little bit of respect for him that day.
Ooh, well, we can't all be young Cusack, right?
This is true, but we can aim to be.
Well, I didn't expect to be talking about heaven and hell at the beginning of this particular podcast.
Yeah, I wasn't either. I think I was winging it, and as is the case with winging it, you just never know where shit's gonna go, and apparently it went south. So this is true. So to all of our listeners who are not religious or do not believe in hell, or I don't know, there's plenty of things that could have been offensive in the last 9 minutes. We apologize, and we'll move on to something much more joyful and bright and happy. Like the brightest and happiest part will come later when we talk about Detroit.
Oh.
But until then, Jamison, what have you been up to?
You know what I did this week that I
What'd you
had never
do?
done before?
Wait, you did something new?
I did something new. I made pickles for the first time.
Oh.
I pickled.
What kind? Oh, like just normal pickles, or did you do something like uber sexy?
I mean, I think a lot of people find pickles pretty sexy. So
Yeah,
I would
well,
say
it's
that
an innuendo, Jameson. So you know, did you just stick your penis in a vat of vinegar? Is that what you did?
No. um, never mind. I'm not gonna take us down that route. There are a lot of jokes about pickling that could be made.
Yes.
Or even discussions about what that means. But
We found ourselves in quite the pickle, Jameson.
We really didn't improve on the topics.
No.
I'm trying to say that I legitimately pickled cucumbers for the very first time, and it turned out amazing, actually, especially for the amount of work. So
was it just a normal dill pickle, or did you go bread and butter, or like
fuck
what?
Whoa, bread and butter.
Oh, you sir need to put that judgment away.
If I want dessert, I'm gonna have
nothing dessert like about bread and butter pickles.
Except they're covered in sugar. I guess they're like kind of the in between dill and sweet pickles.
Yeah, no, sweet pickles are the Satan.
Yeah, but I would say even bread and butter, man.
Oh,
I don't go in for that.
So you went all dill.
All dill.
Okay.
Full dill.
I'm good with that. I like dill.
I know they say you never go full dill, but I went full dill.
What's the dill pickle?
It was good. It was really good. So there's two like schools of pickling.
Okay.
And one of them appeals to me because it has immediate satisfaction, and it's called quick pickling. And the other...
This is not going well, Jameson.
No, this is real. I'm talking about food. I promise I'm talking about food.
Yes, I know, but our listeners are little kindergartners, and they're going to giggle what you just said.
Quick pickling versus, I guess, like, actual canning pickling or long pickling. I don't know. Basically, you make the pickle jars shelf stable. So I just did the quick pickling because I was like, well, they're good for a couple weeks. I'm going to eat them in that time if they're good, and I'm going to toss them if they're bad. And they're ready in like a day. Yeah. So all you have to do is like prepare your jars, cut up the cucumbers, and then like make your pickle brine, which was just vinegar, water, and salt, because again, no bread and butter, no sweet pickles.
Yeah.
So I didn't add anything like that. And in 24 hours you have like Clausen level dill pickles. They were just great. I used English cucumbers, which if you go around the internet, they say don't use English cucumbers, use Persian cucumbers or Kirkland cucumbers, and I didn't have any of those, so I used English, and it was perfectly fine.
Do you know what all cucumbers have in common?
Seeds.
Outside of being pickles, they taste like dirty dish rag.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a true story.
Really? So you're not into cucumbers?
No. I'm into pickles. But I hate me some cucumbers.
Do you call them gherkins? So
Nope.
that
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. No, I don't call them anything because they are spawn of Satan.
Oh, I meant pickles. I don't know.
Oh, pickles. I just call them pickles because that's what they are.
Yeah.
So real quick on the quick pickling, do they have the same consistency and texture as like a normal like store bought pickle, or are they harder?
So I think that might be the case. Is that it maintained its crispness, but that was actually good and better, honestly. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, some of the store-bought ones are a little bit too soft. They're flaccid, one might say.
Sure. One might say that, but one might also have dignity and talk about it with less crassness.
What's crass about the word flaccid? I think you're thinking of something else, Jamison.
Potentially. Yeah, so that's what I did this week, and it turned out really good. So
that's awesome.
I was pretty excited. I also I had another food related thing. Do you care? Are you interested?
I do deeply care. I deeply care until you share pictures of whatever you made with me, and then I hate your ever-loving guts.
Well, that hatred is usually out of jealousy. I don't know if you're going to be jealous of this one.
Okay.
So,
maybe.
I've just been kind of on a weird food kick, and I was curious about cricket flour. So I bought some cricket flour, and I'm gonna make some cricket cookies, but I have to be cautious because all of the recipes online say don't make cookies with this because it doesn't have any gluten. You should make things that are small or that don't require like rising and stuff. So.
Well, they make cookies that are not gluten.
Yeah.
So
I think.
Why does it matter if it has gluten in it or not?
I mean, yeah. So I should find a gluten-free recipe.
Yeah.
And kind of follow those instructions.
So is the cricket flour? Is it finely ground?
Yes.
Okay, or is it like a mealy, like grainy texture?
I haven't opened it yet, so I'm pretty sure it is finely ground.
I wouldn't have any issues eating it. It wouldn't bother me one bit.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be bad unless it legitimately tastes bad. So
I doubt it's going to taste bad. It's probably not going to taste any different than that actual like wheat flour.
Yeah.
I mean,
it might. It's literally just ground up crickets.
Yeah.
And actually, they half of the time it's just marketed as like a protein powder.
Yeah.
Because crickets apparently have tons of
protein.
Tons
of protein. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
65% of their body is protein. But yeah.
That's why people eat them on shows and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever eaten a cricket?
I'm trying to think if I have.
I'm pretty sure I've had a chocolate-covered cricket before.
Oh, yeah. I've had one of those. I've had like a chocolate-covered cricket or like a candy cricket before.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've had... I have never been to the pet store and bought a cricket and...
Just to consume. Yeah.
Just to consume. But my friend Greg has, so...
Sounds like someone we need on the show.
Yeah, we should get him on the show and he can tell us that story of when he had to eat a cricket.
Like, literally just have him on to tell that story and then say, get off.
We would have him pick a movie. We
That's
could
fair.
watch a movie with him.
Yeah, we could watch a movie as long as it's not cricket oriented.
Or even if it was.
Yeah, but I mean, is the movie about crickets really going to be that good? Come on now. It's just going to be a lot of noise until you come up close to it, and then it's going to shut up.
Blake, this is an important question.
Mm-hmm.
Is being a good movie a requirement for this podcast?
No, actually, most of the time it feels like it's the exact opposite. It needs to be a just fine or worse movie on the whole.
I agree. So I think given that Greg should be fine choosing
a cricket movie. Okay.
Medium to terrible movie about crickets.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Hey, I have a burning question to ask you. We are connecting over Skype.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Skype just went white for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you continue to see me?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, but you don't see me.
I don't see you.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm going to change my background and see if it fixes it.
I can see
Did
you.
it fix it?
You're in an art studio now.
Ooh, it did not fix it for me. This is weird. Weird, man. I mean, I can still hear you, so we could continue to talk.
As long as you can hear me. That's all. I mean, no one really wants to see me.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe you turned your screen off.
Nope. I can still see myself.
Okay. Well, I guess this is the way it is.
This is strike number 1 for Skype.
I will just have to trust that you continue to be there.
To our audience members, our listeners, the 5 remaining, we are now currently using Skype because if you listen to the last episode, we used up 90% of our monthly Zencaster time on the last episode. And so we had to come up with something new, some new idea. And so we're going old school where we didn't even know Skype still existed because no one talks about it anymore. And so it does. Surprise. So we decided to use Skype, and we did it old school. We got Audacity up. We started recording. We did the whole clap to make sure that I could time the vocals up nicely. And all of a sudden, Jamison's video went white. So
yeah, there's
Strike
some
one, Skype. I've got your number,
that's some
bud.
inside baseball for all of our listeners.
Yep. This
In
is how low
the
effort
recording
podcasts come
studio.
together.
Exactly. As opposed to not Audacity, as opposed to Zencaster, Audacity is telling me that I have 247 hours remaining of space. So that's good news.
Yeah. Well, is that like lifetime?
I don't actually understand how it's calculating that, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's probably
'Cause-
just how much size I have left versus
Gotcha.
Versus
Okay.
It's
That's
probably just a quick and dirty calculation.
Yeah. Yeah, you know these tech companies and their quick and dirty calculations.
Yeah. Although I've never used Audacity before today, so I was doing some reading up on it, and it's an open source thing. I guess it is owned by a company now. It was sold very recently.
Oh, really?
But it's still an open source project. So I'm all for this.
Yeah, I've never done a podcast without using it in some capacity.
Well, now. We
Well,
broke your streak.
No, I used it even when I was producing the Zencaster episodes. I would put the audio together. So
That makes sense.
yeah, no, I consistently use Audacity. I think it's a great program, and it's free, which is key.
It's my favorite price.
Mm-hmm. Free is the best price. Jamison.
Blake.
I'm trying to think of something interesting that I could tell you about my week, but I don't know if listeners can tell, but my voice is not quite normal. So I've largely had a mild cold all week. If you recall from our third or fourth episode, when Jamison and I were both sick and we both had our sexy voices, it was just me this time. This is actually my preferred voice, especially when I have to produce myself, because it at least it sounds got some more meat to it. But yeah, I'm sure it doesn't sound good to most people. Does it sound good to you, Jamison? Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I love your beautiful, sexy voice.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Outside of that, I didn't really have anything new. I fucked up at work. That was fun.
Oh, ooh, was it?
Oh, tons of fun. I mean, it's fine. My boss is like, no one died.
But did they
do better next time?
Did anyone come close to dying?
No one came close to dying.
Well, yeah, okay,
so,
that's good.
But other than that, yeah, I didn't really do anything new.
Where did you get your sickness from?
I don't know. I went on a site survey to a building near here and spent a day inside and on top of this building, taking measurements and whatnot so we could build it on our CAD program. And the last half of the day was all outside on the roof, and I was redder than I expected when I got home, because I was outside and it was a surprisingly hot day. And my throat started getting scratchy that night, and I was like, okay, well, that sucks. And then the next day it got worse, and it kind of just went from there. And it's never been bad. It's like I wake up every day and I just I'm stuffed up or something, or I'm coughing or something, but I don't feel sick. I don't feel like I just want to die.
Do you feel any extra tired or anything like that? No. That moment you described kind of at the beginning where you were saying, I got home and my throat was starting to get sore.
Yeah.
That is my least favorite part about getting sick.
Yeah.
Because there's a moment when it clicks for you and you're like, I am getting sick. And you're at the very, very beginning of it.
Yeah.
And
you know that there's nothing you can do about it at that point.
Yeah, that's the point of no return.
Yep.
And it's horrible. Yeah. So definitely least favorite part about being sick.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. So my wife told me if I'm not feeling at least 95% by Friday, I'm going to call the doctor. So, nip it in the bud, as they say.
Yeah.
Or as I used to think as a kid, nip it in the butt.
I mean, nip it in the butt is legitimately funnier. So.
Oh, I think it's hilarious, but it makes no sense.
I guess nip it in the bud makes sense, right?
Well, yeah, because you're clipping a bud, like a flower.
Yeah.
So it can grow back stronger and prettier than ever. Like a butterfly.
But have you ever been nipped in the butt?
No, I haven't. Not into that, Jamison.
I mean, I was just gonna say I've never been nipped in the butt either, but like I don't know. Maybe it exists. Maybe there are people out there who do it regularly, and I don't know what it is. So
There's a high probability that at some point we'll probably watch Secretary. And so yes, nipping in the butt might actually be a thing that comes up at some point on this show.
That is a movie that I also own as well. So I wouldn't have to buy that one.
It's been years since I've seen it, but it is on my list for some point.
I've watched it fairly recently. When I say fairly recently, I mean within the past 10 years, but it may have been like 8 years ago.
Gotcha.
Was the last time I watched it, which it really, I don't know, time starts feeling kind of relative in that way. Like 8 years is not very recently, but it feels recently in my life now. So
well, and it feels recent for a movie like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had another question for you, Blake.
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking. But I can't remember it. So I'm going to have to continue talking and try to pick it up.
We are killing it on this episode.
Yeah, we are absolutely killing it. It's honestly, I'm going to blame the fact that I can't see your beautiful face on the fact.
That's fair.
Yeah. I do think it's fair. Thank you. I appreciate that. There's something I have no face blindness where I don't see your face and I have memory loss. That's what that means.
That's fair. I think that's actually a thing.
Yeah, is it maybe. Trying to think. Oh. No. Man, I'm my memory. I don't know what it is.
Oh my memory.
Oh, I saw a really cool article that I didn't get a chance to read. This is absolutely not interesting, but it reminded me of our episode on frequency, and I want to remember to send it to you.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about the how old technology kind of gets infested with ghosts and comes back. Well, I saw this Wired article that was like the what was it titled? The title was like the unbelievable zombie comeback of analog computing. And the whole first paragraph is about when old tech dies, no one expects it to come back to life. And it just made me think about kind of our conversation. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to read it because I discovered it like 20 minutes before we were going to record. But I got really excited about it, and I was going to send it to you. So
yeah, send it to me.
I just
Wired can be hit or miss.
I agree, but because I do actually, I have an interest in analog computing, so so I'm interested in reading this, but yeah, I also realize as I'm telling the story, it's not a question for you, so I think I was just trying to remember what I was going to tell you.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give you complete leeway that in the remainder of this episode, if it comes to your mind, you can just stop whatever we're talking about.
Oh, I just remembered.
Beautiful. Do it.
I I was gonna ask you, when is your son due?
Due to what?
Due to coming into the world.
Oh, you mean that son? Okay.
Yes.
I was like, when is he? Did I forget something?
No. Seamus can wait for a second. We're talking about your new son.
Yes, baby number 2. Technically supposed to be the end of August, but we're probably going to get induced before then. So mid-August, probably.
Okay. Yeah, Kira and I were trying to calculate it out, and I was like, I don't remember when he first told me about this and how long along they were along.
It gets a little crazy with our story. I mean, we started at 4 weeks, so I'll let our audience members figure that out, how that works. So.
Yeah. Well, we were just wondering because a friend of ours just had a kid this week, and it felt like they just got pregnant.
Yeah.
And then the baby, 9 months feels like a long time until you've done it. And even when you're going through it, it feels like kind of a long time, except it happens. And then when you look back on that time, you're like, oh, that wasn't long at all.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking, oh, wow, Blake's probably ready to have baby number 2 soon. But I guess there's still a few more months.
Yeah, we still got some time. And
okay.
It's funny, you bring up the whole weirdness of the fluidity of time when it comes to kids. Not just pregnancy, but actually when they're growing up too. I was talking to some friends of ours who have a young child, like 15 months, I believe she is. And I was talking to the mom about how it's weird that in the midst of actually like being a parent to this infant / toddler, like it can feel interminably endless, like the days. But then at the same time, it can feel it. Like, where did the last 2 years go? Like, it's the weirdest like time manipulation ever that I've ever experienced. Like, both can be there in one tense kind of weird intersection. It's odd.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a microcosm of that in just I'll like go to work, and I work from home, but I'll focus on my tasks, and I won't like see Hazel all day, and then I'll feel like when I'm with him, it feels like I have to spend all my energy with him, and time goes by really slow because he's really boring right now.
Yeah.
But he's also not really boring, and I want to like see every stage. And so the days when I'm at work and I don't get to spend any time with him, it just feels like the whole day is wasted and I didn't even get to see him.
Yeah.
Even though he's around. So, that's kind of like a microcosm of this feeling, and I'm sure I'll feel it when he's 1 and he's walking around, and or like even later too. So I don't know.
Just wait till you get to the point where you're both working. That is assuming y'all are both gonna work. But if you do both work, like my wife and I do, that means that you will basically get to spend maybe an hour in the morning with them, and about 2 to 3 hours right after work before they go to bed. So basically you're getting like a consolidated 3 to 4 hours with your child every day during the week. Now the weekends are, you're with them all the time, but yeah, during the week it's like these very like short consolidated segments of time, and it is weird. Because, like, just week to week, you can see changes in them. You're like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Just the other day, Sheamus was crossing his legs, because that's a thing he does now. And it's hilarious. My God. It's hilarious. Because he doesn't actually know how to do it. Like, it's like, it looks weird on him, because his legs are, like, super, short and whatnot, but
sure,
he saw one of us do it, and he now does it, specifically when he eats ice cream, which I think is hilarious. So, yeah, there you go.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, actually, so Kira has she started last Friday back to work, and we still have so Hazel's still in the house, not going to daycare yet, because we have kind of in-home helpers. Some of it's going to be Kira's mom. Some of it's going to be a nanny that we've hired. And then some of it is going to be me taking half days on Fridays and kind of reorganizing my schedule and then just kind of cobbling it together. So
does that mean you're going to be working 10-hour days Monday through Thursday and then half a days on Friday?
Just 10-hour days on Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
And then on Friday I do a half day. So I only have to work 40 hours, although some weeks I work more than that. But it's actually really cool because I hate working late on Fridays, and this kind of this sets me up a little bit better to like cut my day then, and I get to look forward to having more of a chunk on Fridays with Hazel than I normally would. So yeah, I've already experienced that like 2-hour block of time where you spend that time with your kid, and it just feels like, where did everything go?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Well, God bless you, and may you not deal with daycare if at all possible. Because, good Lord.
I've heard.
We're in the process of that. So. Yeah. But that's a whole other subject.
We'll see. Speaking of time going by fast, wow, look at that first 45 minutes of the podcast. It went by.
I like that we've like really timed out our chatter to about the 40 to 45 minute mark, and that's when we have to like get serious about what we're talking about. And
yeah,
maybe I should start like, it's too much work, but I was thinking I might start like putting a tag on when the actual movie discussion happens, but then I'm like, no, people are going to listen to this. They're going to listen to the whole damn thing. I'm going to force them to. Or I'm going to force them to like go old school, like a cassette player, and like fast forward until they hit the part that they want to listen to.
Like the Twin Peaks DVD. Or not Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive DVD.
Yes.
It was famously released without any chapters. So it was actually really horrible to watch because my DVD player didn't have a good fast forward thing. Like, it was worse at fast forwarding than any of our VHS players. And I kept falling asleep while watching it. So I kept having to start it over.
Wait, had you seen it before when you were in this falling asleep stage?
What do you mean? No, so...
Like, when you first got it, you were falling asleep the first time you watched it.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Because...
That
so
makes sense.
This was back when I would fall asleep in every movie. I actually, like... My friends know that's just kind of a Jamie trope, is like, gotcha. Whenever a movie turns on, I fall asleep and I get endless shit about it, which I accept. I just think that's that fair. I had poor sleeping habits, and part of that was I would stay up really late and watch movies, but it was a catch-22 in that I would stay up so late because I would fall asleep during movies and I would have to restart them a bunch throughout the night. And so in order to actually finish them, I was up much later than I should have been.
Yeah.
Bad habits.
You're one of those people that wakes up after a short period of time of falling asleep. I'm one of those people that if I fall asleep during a movie, I wake up the next day and I'm like, oh shit.
Well, I was watching movies like not in my bed. I was like on.
I wasn't either.
I was sitting on a floor
with a crick
or something.
in my neck on the couch.
All right.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I would usually wake up sometime in the middle of the night, but yeah. Anyway, so Blake, why did you pick Four Brothers?
Because I love this fucking film.
All right.
I wanted something, that's like, I don't know. There's no like specific reasoning behind me picking it.
Yeah.
I was looking at my list. I was like, I could do something that has like really interesting themes to like deal with and whatnot. But I was like, I just really want to watch Four Brothers again. So why don't I just pick that? And sure enough, man, I was like, I'm gonna make Jamie watch this. I doubt he's seen it. And I was right. You hadn't seen it until now. But you did know about it. This is a thing you said. So, before I say any more, what did you know about it and what had you heard about it?
What had I heard about it? So, I just knew about it because it came out in sometime in the between 2000 and 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at that point, that like stage in my life, I knew every movie that ever came out.
Gotcha.
I would religiously read the newspaper for what movies were coming to my area, what movies were coming out, and
you and me
I didn't live in like a fancy area where it got every indie film, but the town I grew up in did have an art house theater, still has the same art house theater, and or the town I grew up next to, the town that I live in now, that I was born in, is like 20 minutes away from the one that I kind of grew up in mostly. But anyway, there was a close art house theater, so I would be able to read about most of the movies kind of that made circuits throughout the United States, and I would also call like movie theaters to get their times just to see what was playing and stuff. So these were like weekly rituals. So Four Brothers came out at some point. I probably read the Roger Ebert review of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd heard it was fine. I don't think I heard anything glowing about it, and it just was one that I didn't catch. So
that's that if you read all the aggregated reviews, it turns out to be about 50% ish. So fine would probably be a good description, according to quote unquote paid critics. But yeah, I saw this in theaters. I went to see this in theaters. I remember I went with my family, which was a thing I did quite a bit. I would go see all sorts of movies with my family. But this particular time, I had my best friend in tow, who was kind of like a son to my parents. He had become very much a part of the family in a lot of ways at that point. So um, he would probably join us for, depending on the movie, he would join us occasionally. We wouldn't see Four Brothers because we were like, oh, this looks like a good action film, whatever. Didn't
Yeah.
weren't expecting it to be all that amazing or anything like that, but and I wouldn't say it's like just objectively the greatest action film ever made, but something about it like really like got its claws into me, and I never
Mm-hmm.
forgot it. And to the point that like I would see it in a video store. Yes, I am that old. I lived during a time when I would walk into a place and look at cover art and take a box up to a person, and they would give me the clear plastic case with the DVD or VHS, and I would take it home, much like a library. Except I would have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I got to the point where every time I saw the movie on a shelf, I would pick it up and I would watch it. Because I was like, damn, I really like that film. And over time, that happened enough to where I just got to know it really well, and it kind of just moved its way up in my heart as far as my favorite films go. I would say it's in my top 25 of all time.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
I don't think it's objectively a top 25er, but in my personal selection, I think it's up there. So, um, but another funny story uh, about this film is the night that we did go see it. I have a very strong memory of a girl who worked at Hastings, which is a local multimedia store that no longer exists. But in Emerald, Texas, it was huge there. That's where you would go buy your music or DVDs or whatever, books. And remember there was a cashier there that I thought like I had a thing for. Uh, and that night I got the idea in my head that she might have a thing for me.
Mm.
And it got to where I would like I wasn't like, thankfully I wasn't a stalker. I wasn't one of those people that showed up at the store just to see if she was there, that kind of thing. But if I
Sure.
did show up there and she happened to be there, I'd be like, oh. But I was always like super shy. I was never good at like asking women out or anything like that. Well, finally, I got the nerve up one day, and it was super awkward and super painful. And she did give me her number, and I called it
Oh,
later. I
nice.
called it later that night. Never heard back from her.
Mm.
But hey, small steps. And
Yeah.
so it's because it's so strongly tied to this movie. It's a story I remember that's weirdly tied to the first time I saw this film, that I thought I would share for all of our audience. The awkward asking out attempts of Blake Collier.
So, I think so. Was this store Hastings? It was a multimedia store. It was. Would you rent movies there?
Yeah, you could rent and buy.
Okay. And so, did you have like Four Brothers in your hand when you asked her out?
Oh no! It was shortly after. It was still in theaters whenever I asked
Okay.
her. But it was the night that we were going to see it at the theater.
Yeah.
That I remember going to Hastings beforehand and getting the idea that maybe she was perhaps into me as well.
Yeah.
Which gave me a little bit more nerve to ask at some point.
Yeah.
It still took days to do it, but yeah, there you go.
That's a very cool story. Very cool.
Is it though?
Well, yeah. No, I think those, wins of bravery and I don't know. I was also very very awkward when it came to talking to girls when I was like, I don't know. Were you
I was in high school.
In high school, yeah. So
well, no, this was 2004, so I would have been in college.
Okay.
I would have been home for the summer, probably.
Yeah, but yeah, kind of around that time, I think I was also very awkward. I feel like I am not super awkward about that stuff anymore, but I don't use it ever because I'm married and I'm happily married. So like, I feel like if I could go back to my younger self and be like, hey, it's just a question. Like, they could say yes, they could say no.
Your very being in existence is not dependent on this answer.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be awkward about it if you don't have to be. Yeah.
Blake, did you ever go on any like terrible movie dates because the movie ended up being super awkward?
No. I was one of those people that when I went on a date, which was not often, I went on two separate blind dates. Both went horribly wrong. Not in like a disastrous kind of way, just there was nothing there.
Yeah.
At either time, on either side. Clearly not working. But I was of the type that if I'm going to go out with someone, like, I want to be able to talk to them. And so movies were always off the table, in my opinion.
Okay.
It was always dinner and, like, maybe a walk or something like that. I don't know. Most of the time, I never got past dinner. And then at that point, I was like, find a way out of this situation. So, I was not a big date movie. I was all about the getting to know the person.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any I had some bad experiences with watching movies with my parents. That was the thing that happened a few times.
I bet.
Yeah.
I once took a Mormon girl to see A History of Violence. And that was
stair
probably
scene.
Yes, yeah. That was probably the most awkward thing I can imagine. And it was kind of, I felt legitimately bad that I had done that.
Ooh, did you know any of Cronenberg at that point?
No, that was I
okay.
think that was actually
because if you did, I would be like, come on, Jamison, you should have known better. If you knew who Cronenberg was, you should have not done that.
That's true. I mean, I think it was fine. I don't think this person was that scarred by the experience. I think it was just maybe a little bit more than they were expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what a great Cronenberg film that would be a good date movie? That would kind of get you in the mood?
Crash?
No. Well, that too. But no, specifically Shivers.
Oh, yeah. I love that film.
I do too. It's still one of my favorites of his. Yeah. But we're getting away from Detroit.
Yeah, we are getting away from Detroit.
Yeah, so I love this film. Always will. And I recognize some of its deficiencies, and it doesn't defeat my love of it. But I'm curious, Jamison, what what did you think of this film?
So, I watched the film on 2 separate nights.
Did you fall asleep?
No, I didn't fall asleep. I just didn't have enough time one night, and the deadline was getting close to watching it. Yeah. So I was like, I have to start it on this night and then finish it on this night to kind of get it in.
Okay, real quick.
Well, yeah.
What was the stopping point?
The stopping point was right before the car chase.
Oh, good. Okay, that was a good part to pick.
Yeah, so it was. They had just kind of went into a nightclub and they found the guys who had physically killed their mother, and they were about to chase after them. So I do think it was actually a really good stopping point.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think this movie benefited from me splitting it up that way.
Gotcha.
Because, and I'll give some of the reasons, because the first night I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, well, it's Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have kind of the trope of like, of heavy crime, and that's kind of the setting.
Yeah.
But it feels like the Wild West. Like, I was just like, why does everyone have a gun out with zero, like, no one seems to care. You just like, oh yeah, it's normal for a random guy to, flash around a gun at a basketball game to get everyone's attention so he can get his thing. And it's like, it's treated kind of like as like an annoyance rather than like a big, almost offensive crime, So,
but we're also not dealing with the rich part of town.
No, we're not dealing with the rich part of town, but it did feel very over the top, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
In its approach to violence and its approach to guns specifically, and that ramps up even further into the movie. But
it's almost a holdover from the 90s, because that was something that the 90s were known for.
Yeah, and so I think having that movie, like, having me be like, okay, what is happening, and then stopping and kind of preparing for the next, the next 2/3 of the movie, the next night was probably good. It helped me approach that latter part with more of an open mind, kind of see it as a big stylistic choice, rather than it trying to really be any way really tethered to reality or something like that.
Yeah.
So
definitely,
I think that was helpful, and yeah, the more I reflect on it, the more I don't know if I loved it or even really liked it, but I thought it was interesting. There's some interesting aspects to it, and it was definitely something I never would have watched, and it's cool to have watched it. So that's kind of how I feel about it now. I did want to give a special shout out to that car chase.
Oh,
that's
man.
That's a pretty cool scene. Like,
oh yeah.
it's a high speed car chase in the snow and
on icy streets.
On icy streets, and it was just very well done, and it had kind of that extra kick of like the cars were sliding around and everything.
And it wasn't like sleek like a Steve McQueen car chase. It like even the good guys were crashing into the cars on the side of the road because they couldn't help it.
Yeah. The one thing, and I liked this, but the one kind of noticeable thing was how chaotic it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell whose car was whose.
Yeah.
At one point, one of the cars like loses a headlight, and so you have like a car with two headlights and a car with one headlight. But I couldn't remember. Like I was like, who
had one? Yeah. Which one? Yeah.
Who had which one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would say that the car chase is the standout scene of the movie.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
The part that if there was a moment in when I saw it in theaters that probably stuck out to me the most, it was probably the car chase scene. But that's because at that point in my life I was a huge connoisseur of car chases. I loved them.
Yeah.
Like I owned a copy of Bullet just because of the car chase.
Nice.
Not because I thought the movie was great. It's fine, but that car chase in San Francisco was amazing. Yeah, so if just the chaotic element of it and the messiness of the car chase really sold it for me. So I'm glad that you picked that out.
Yeah, that was definitely a high point for me, and I think it was good too because that was like right when I picked it back up, and I was like, okay, that's setting a good tone for me. But yeah, I do have to say now more kind of on my critical hat.
Gotcha.
I kind of lost the plot. I did have to read the Wikipedia plot summary to get exactly what happened to a specific, like, I followed everything, and I think I could tell you, like, okay, what these things were, but the movie starts with kind of a central problem, which is this sweet old lady is murdered by these two robbers.
Yeah.
And what looks to be just a standard robbery. And then she happens to have had 4 adopted sons who were, on kind of a terrible path. I think she was a social worker, and so these were 4 kind of lost causes as the police officer in the movie.
They were, in the words of Terrence Howard, they are congressmen compared to what they could have been.
Yeah.
Which is not saying a whole lot, because I would almost take the worst of Detroit over congressmen. But that's just me.
Definitely certain congressmen, for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so there's still fuck-ups. They're still kind of described in that way. Although, some of them more so than others. Andre 3000, I think he's kind of their... I don't know if he's the oldest one, but he's the most responsible out of all.
I got the sense that he was kind of the oldest, but I'm not sure that they really specify.
Yeah, they specify a youngest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Jack in the movie is the youngest.
Jackie.
Yep. Jackie. So there's Jackie. There's Bobby. There's the other 2. So Tyrese and
Andre 3000.
Yeah.
I'm still horrible with character names.
No,
even with my favorite films. I'm really bad about it.
It's fine. I feel like Tyrese's character, they kept calling him nickname too.
Well, I remember my favorite moment is when they're wrestling and Bobby is Bobby being Mark Wahlberg is saying saying Nitro and Midnight. I was like, oh, this would not fly today. There's a lot of things about this movie that would not fly today.
Yeah, like definitely at one point Mark Wahlberg gets to use the N-word.
Yeah. That was a thing.
I don't know if gets to is the right word. It does.
It does use the N-word. Yeah.
So,
but clearly, Tyrese and Andre 3000 were okay with it.
I mean, John Singleton,
Yeah.
Did he write it? But
I'm
sure.
I actually don't know if he wrote
his.
it. I think he did. I want to say he did mainly because I know that the story was really driven by him and his love of blaxploitation. Which speaks to the over the topness of it. Which, I mean, this was very much a attempt for him of kind of just doing like a old throwback 70s style like action film kind of thing.
Revenge thriller.
Yeah. Revenge thriller. Yep.
Yeah. So he did not.
No, go ahead.
He did not write it. It was written by David Elliott and Paul Lovett, but he directed it, and so he had the final say in everything. So. Gotcha.
So he. It's funny because when you were talking about how you had to look up the Wikipedia about the kind of like what exactly was happening with all the like plot lines, it's always funny because the more I think about that aspect of it, I think I literally every time I watch it, I probably don't actually understand what's going on, but I also don't care because what has always gotten me about this movie has never been the plot. It's always been the characters. I don't know what it is about the way the four brothers play their characters, but man, I don't know. Like, there might be some people that say it's cheesy. I don't know, man. It hit me hard. Every time I watch this film, I love the way that those four actors like interact with each other throughout the movie. I just get so much out of it.
It is cheesy. I will give it that. Some of the if you isolate some of the lines of dialogue, it's probably not good. It doesn't stand alone. But I will say
sell it.
They sell it, and they sell that they all care about each other in a brotherly sense.
Yeah.
Which seems like probably a bigger win than having exactly the right dialogue, right?
Yeah.
So that is, I would say that's a positive. Like, thinking back on it, they do for whatever problems with what they're doing and things that you do get a sense that they enjoy each other and enjoy being around each other in the same way that brothers do. That's a good point for the movie.
Did you feel deep and sad things whenever Jackie dies?
I would no. I feel like that was maybe it could have been. It felt like it moved by too fast.
Yeah, that's
fair. And I don't know. I don't really think they nailed that.
I don't think they nailed it. I don't think that they screwed it up, but I don't think they nailed it either. it still kind of gets me because I always liked Jackie as a character. And I always, it sucks that he had to be the one that died, but spoilers, not that our listeners care.
So oh, sorry. I do want to wrap up.
You want to wrap up? We're not
done
yet,
no.
bro.
I wanted to wrap up. There was only one part of the plot that I didn't catch. So it was why. So it actually ends up being a big conspiracy for why their mom was murdered, and I didn't quite catch exactly what the motive was for her murder. So that's what I was going back to read.
So my I didn't go back and read the Wikipedia, but this is my reading of it, and you can tell me how accurate it is according to Wikipedia. My understanding over years of watching this film and never caring about the actual mechanics of the plot is that Victor Silva, is it Victor? No, Victor Sweet.
Victor Sweet.
Yeah, who Chiwetel Ejiofor, man. That's the first time I saw that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He offers money to Andre 3000, and he turns it down because he's a good union man, and because Victor Sweet does not like to be turned down, he basically puts him out of business and causes havoc. And his mom goes in to the police department to say that this is some BS and that her son doesn't need to be harassed and crap like that. And because she's causing trouble, Victor Sweet has her executed. That's my understanding.
Yes, that is exactly correct.
So.
But I definitely missed that while I was watching it. So
that's fair. It would be easy to miss.
Yeah.
I'm not even entirely sure I could have told you that was the case until this most recent viewing. So.
Well, at least eventually you put it together. So
yeah, that's right. So what are your feelings about Mark Wahlberg?
What are my feelings about Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, are you one of those people that's endeared by him even if his choice in movies is not great, or do you despise everything he does and him as a human being, or some other? What is your take on Mark Wahlberg?
I don't despise him. I know that when he was young, he did some pretty terrible things.
Yeah.
When he was kind of rough and rowdy gangbanger.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But he went to jail, right, for a few years. I don't know.
I'm not sure I can tell you. It wouldn't surprise me.
I don't really remember because I wasn't paying attention when all of that happened.
Yeah.
But he then was in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch,
mm-hmm.
which makes terrible music. So he didn't really earn any points for me in that. I don't know when I started noticing him as an actor.
Probably Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, yeah.
That's the first thing I remember seeing him in and noticing him.
Yeah, I didn't watch Boogie Nights when it came out because I think it came out in the late 90s. I was 12, so I think it would have been moving heaven and earth for me to watch a movie about a porn star.
The porn industry.
Yeah.
Even if it had Burt Reynolds in it?
Even if
surely your dad would have been like, it's got Burt Reynolds in it, it's gonna be good. My dad, that's the way my dad was. It's got Burt Reynolds in it. Must be good.
I don't remember my dad's feelings on Burt Reynolds actually. But yeah, I watched it much later. But I think I remember Mark Wahlberg. He was probably in some like feel good Disney movie that I watched, or something or another. And I just remember him being, fine, believable actor. There wasn't anything that really bothered me about him. And then The Departed came around, and that was probably when I took notice, and I was like, oh, Mark Wahlberg can act, and well. So
if he puts his mind to it, he can.
Yeah. So I don't think I would say, oh, Mark Wahlberg is in this movie, I have to see it.
Yeah.
Even knowing that Mark Wahlberg is capable of doing a very good job in a movie, but it doesn't turn me off to movies. So
yeah, I generally find him endearing as an on-screen presence, even in really shitty films, which he does often. I don't know, something about kind of his everymanness, but like that Bostonian version of the everyman, like kind of rough and tumble, like grew up, in the streets and cusses a lot and is a womanizer probably and all sorts of things, but is generally likable. I find him endearing. I don't think he picks great movies often. But when he's in something that is good, he tends to be pretty solid in it. So
yeah,
I just didn't know if you went into this film, oh shit, I gotta watch a Mark Wahlberg film, because there are those people. There are those people. So
you know what was more exciting than Mark Wahlberg was Andre 3000.
Oh yeah,
being in it,
and he's awesome in this.
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, I love Outkast.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
Outkast is so good, and he's just he's got such a warm presence to him. I don't know if did you ever get a chance to see High Life?
That's the Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Talk about falling asleep during movies. I went to see that at my local indie theater here in Tulsa, and I did fall asleep, and one of the ushers had to wake me up when the movie was over.
Man.
So I never got to see the actual movie. I saw like maybe 20 minutes of it, 30 minutes of it maybe, before I passed up. It's one I wanted to go back and rewatch because I had heard good things, and I generally like Robert Pattinson post Twilight.
Yeah, so he makes interesting choices. Yeah, he does.
He does.
Andre Benjamin is in that, and so he's really good in that too.
I get excited anytime I see him featured on an album.
Yeah,
every so often, he does a feature on an album. But
Blake, are we ever going to get a new Outkast album?
No, we're not. And that's okay, because what they put out is gold. So
you know what? I'm coming more and more around to that. I already think, all things die eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, sorry, dear listener, but eventually this podcast will end. Not anytime soon. Maybe it'll be, 30, 40, 50 years.
Maybe it'll be when one of us passes.
Yeah.
And maybe. By passes, I mean passes gas, and the other one smells it. And they're like, this is over. I can't do it anymore.
That's why we can never do it together.
Yep.
Absolutely. We have to avoid that fate for the podcast.
It's true.
But I don't know. I'm coming more and more around to that. I feel like a lot of bands are getting back together and releasing new material.
It's a bad idea.
Sometimes it works. Every so often it works. But like, I think last year the Mars Volta put out a new album and it just wasn't very exciting. It didn't feel like old Mars Volta.
I would almost say that the bands that do come back and actually do interesting things are the type of band that their prior output was so good that even the most interesting thing they could have done coming back together would pale in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I also do think that there's maybe some cases of bands who had unfinished business. So they were bands. I think there are some examples of bands where they kind of broke up, but they had a lot of potential, and then there was some excitement, about them again, and they get another chance. And usually, I think in those cases, there's maybe something exciting that they can do. But I think those are the ones that I'm thinking of that have come back together and done some cool things.
Yeah.
But
no,
we're getting away
I'm
from Detroit.
completely fine with Outkast never coming back.
Yeah.
We don't need to ruin a perfectly good catalog.
That's true.
I'm fine with the once every 5-year feature by Andre 3000. Big Boi's output since Outkast has not been good, so I don't see a world in which Andre 3000 coming back and them getting back together is going to help them. So
I think the most exciting thing Big Boi did was at one point he was attached to produce a new Modest Mouse album, but it took them like 9 years to make that album, and so I think at that point he had stopped being attached to it. So
yeah,
but
that sounds about right.
I think that would have been kind of an interesting thing.
I want to hear a rap feature on a Modest Mouse song by Danny Brown. I think Danny Brown would fit.
Yeah, I could see that. See that.
It's got to be a certain kind of rapper. Kendrick Lamar can't pull off Modest Mouse. Danny Brown, he could pull it off. So
I could see that. I could see that. So I did want to ask. So this movie has a very specific approach to violence, which seems to be just kind of a balls to the wall approach,
but surprisingly bloodless.
That's true. That's true. Even the killings kind of have little blood. But I will say there's still some shockingly violent moments.
Oh yeah.
And I think to me, like the thing that I'm most troubled about in the movie is maybe it's like holding of violence in one hand, and then also kind of it's like relational aspect. The four brothers, the mom who they even talk about it at one point, the mom who teaches them to forgive, and they say like, oh, she would have been the first one to say that we should forgive them, why are we hunting them down or something. And additionally, there's a union component to it too. Again, like the relationship of the working man against the oppressors. How does the role violence takes and kind of the relational quality of the film like stand out in your mind? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think you're right to draw that criticism. I don't think it does a good job of noting that, balancing that. I think they try to do that with Jack, Jack's character, the youngest of the four brothers, because he's never quite on board with the violence, but he never stops it either. Like because he's the youngest and he doesn't want to, get in the way or whatever. But I think they try to make him kind of that bridge character, and it never quite works. Because I think they could have done a lot more with kind of showing how the violence breaks down kind of the relational elements of the brothers. But yeah, it doesn't work. Man, part of me knowing this kind of film, it's a double-edged sword. I don't think he was going for that kind of depth with the movie, but I also think he was giving the characters more depth than a movie like that probably should have. And so part of me is like, well, you went this far, like why didn't you go a little bit further? And so yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't think it works. And I ultimately just have to throw it in my hands and say it's a revenge flick. It's the moral fabric of it is lackluster, as all revenge flicks are, except for the ever so occasional one that actually shows the depletion of the person seeking the vengeance, which is not often. So
Yeah. I it is actually a good. You brought up a good point about Jack's character, because that when they go at the end of the car chase scene, they I think it's just three of the brothers. So Andre Benjamin kind of stays back through most of the violence, because he has a wife and kids and he has family, and so he kind of keeps.
And he has a reputation too.
Yes, yeah. So he has a reputation. It's a little bit better than the rest of his brothers. I mean, don't get us wrong. They all have reputations.
Oh yeah.
Just some of them are better.
He of all of the brothers, he's the one who found a cause and has turned his life towards that cause.
Yeah.
So.
But so the car chase scene has the youngest Jack, and it has Bobby and then Tyrese, and they chase these guys down. The car flips over. The bad guy's car flips over, and then they all kind of go up, and Mark Wahlberg and Tyrese, basically both executioner style, just murder these guys. And yes,
they don't even ask for information.
They don't ask for information.
They just kill them.
They just pull out their guns, kill them. And yes, it's true. We know, because we were the viewers who saw the mob being killed, and they know that they're the ones who shot their mom. So there is a sense that, like, okay, they're at least getting kind of an eye for an eye judgment here, but it's still so fast and brutal in a way that it was a little shocking. And I will say that they give the camera does show Jack's face, and you could tell he's shocked by it too.
And he flinches at the gunshots.
Yes.
Like they actually show him flinch, and I may be mistaken, but I do like see a little bit of wateriness in his eyes. Like there's an element of this that he's not okay with.
Yeah. And I guess I guess maybe that could be like kind of a foreshadowing of the fact that he's going to reap kind of the consequences of this.
And I think if they'd written it a little bit differently, that might have come out more. Because I think that's what they were aiming for. I don't think it works ultimately. And once again, we get to this question of like, you went this far with commentary. Why didn't you just like, just give it a little bit more of a shove? Because you were on to something there, and you could have made an really like kind of just a typical vengeance film into something that might have actually had a tantalizing element to it that might have like pushed back against the typical vengeance film. But they never quite get there.
Yeah, they never quite underline it or really like pull that thread through, because the scene where Jack does die, I will say it's so loud and stylish and distracting.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a war scene in the middle of Detroit. And like if you're feeling like Detroit feels like the Wild West before that point, oh man, it embraces that and it's just an insane amount of violence and gunfire. Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say you talk about the loudness of it, because there's only one actual kill in that whole scene that's actually affecting.
Yeah.
And that's Andre Benjamin's one kill in the movie. And it's because it's done with a basically like a paring knife or like a kitchen knife. And the guy comes in the back door and he comes up behind him and stabs him in the chest. And it's such a physical death, whereas all this gunfire is going around and killing people and whatnot. But like no, there's this like one scene where he's like physically killing this guy, and I'm like, that's the one death that feels like has materiality to it, and it's because it's so intimate instead of all this just gun scattershot.
Yeah. I think he even yells like, "I have a wife and kids," as he's saying.
Exactly.
The guy.
He's like he has a break in that moment, and I think Andre Benjamin sells it. It's not well written, but for whatever elements it does have, he sells it.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like the noise of that scene generally takes away from like the point that it could be making with Jack and stuff. But yeah, that's where, as you were saying, it doesn't quite, it's not quite able to hold those things in tension in a fully compelling way.
That's kind of the difficulty of action films, though, is that what is so generative about action is its set pieces, and it's not unusual even back in the day for the big loud bullets flying action scenes are the ones that get the audience like up and like into the film. And so you're dealing with that, like you have to please the audience. Like, they're going to see an action film, and so you have to sell the action. But is there like the it's funny that the only action film that comes to mind right now that actually like sells something more than the action itself, while still being a great action film, is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of known for. Like, it sells. It's about a lot of things, but the action is so fucking good too. But it's not like it doesn't sell either short. And it just makes me wonder, like, why can't all action films be that way? Like, Man on Fire, even. As much as I like Man on Fire, as much as I love Denzel Washington, I still think it fails. Like, it goes for that, like, ending where it's like he's, he sees the ends of his ways, but it's still, like, the movie, because it's a Scott feature, a Tony Scott, I believe, feature.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Scott is not interested in that. He never was interested in that. He was interested in the vengeance and the action element of it. I mean, that's just his thing. And so, like the whole film is looking at, how can I frame this really compelling torture scene?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I that's the difficulty of action films, is that you got to sell the action, but making action films really thoughtful that's until Mad Max Fury Road came along, I'm not sure I was convinced that it could be done.
Yeah.
So,
I also want to point out Mad Max Fury Road also has a great car chase scene.
yes. Yeah. Easily. Of course, there's a great car chase scene in all the Mad Max films, but
yeah, but Mad Max Fury Road is basically a car chase scene.
It's a 2.5 hour car chase scene, basically.
Yeah, basically. Oh man, Mad Max Fury Road is so good. I do think, I think though in that case you had something that it wasn't even. I don't even think that anyone thought something like Mad Max could exist, right?
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road. I think that really like created something outside the bounds of what people thought was able to be made within these genres. And so so I really do I think it sets the standard and kind of becomes it. So but there is kind of in the opposite way, there was one other movie that I thought of when I was watching this, that is able to kind of hold these things, I feel, together, but
Okay.
it does so by a trick where it builds to being an action film and then is 100% not an action film and stops all of the violence at some point. And the movie I'm thinking of is Shotgun Stories.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah.
So again, you have kind of a brother dynamic, where you have these brothers coming together at the death of a family member. Now it's a more sour relationship, but it's still kind of like a brotherly nature. There's actually two sets of brothers, and then they start kind of warring. But there's a brief amount of violence in it, and then what it does is it kind of pulls the rug out by saying, like, yeah, if we continue down this route, we're gonna have that problem here.
Yeah.
And it chooses to stop the action at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's and you know, I think it might sound like, oh, this is going to be such a boring film, but it's handled so well. And
no,
it's so
Jeff Nichols'
compelling.
film is boring.
Yeah, it becomes so compelling. And so I guess I was thinking about that movie in kind of an anti-example. I guess
that's fair. And I would almost say that's like if you took Four Brothers and you made it less about the action and more about the relational dynamic and how violence affects that. That would be Shotgun Stories. And then there's numerous amounts of the vengeance flicks who don't care about the relational dynamics and just want the bloodlust. Ample amounts of those. But yeah, you don't see it very often when you can kind of like find that cohesion of the two that work on all levels as a straight up action film and as a thoughtful, thought-provoking commentary on said action. So, but before we wrap up, because I know we're getting close to our typical time, there is a question I wanted to ask you because it's really kind of the final set piece of the movie. What were your thoughts about the ending? The Mark Wahlberg trudging out onto the ice, the iced over lake, and having an old fashioned swing fest with Victor Sweet.
It was fittingly goofy for the movie.
It's goofy, but oh my gosh, I love it.
Things that I liked about it. I liked that, again, similar to the car chase scene. John Singleton seems to really be embracing the location, right?
Yeah.
It's Detroit. It's the winter time. It's gonna be fucking cold.
Yeah.
So we're gonna set this piece, this climax of the film on a frozen lake.
Yeah.
And that was an endearing choice. Like I thought that was fun.
Well, it almost becomes what I tend to like about it is it's almost anticlimactic. After the set piece of the loud gun battle that happens at the house, to have that as the final denouement is a bold choice.
Yeah, and to have it be like, a fist fight, it feels like it's again throwing back to this idea of some sort of honor, some sort of these men live by codes, and whatnot. Even though, I'm sure we could pick that apart with with gun violence. Like, I've never understood how you can say you live by codes if you own a gun. Like,
unless you're Ghost Dog.
Unless you're Ghost Dog. You caught me right before I was about to make that. Yes. That's another movie that's great. Oh, I love.
Yeah, we may have to watch that one at some point.
You know what's great about Ghost Dog is the soundtrack is so cool.
It's so good. And I do want to make a quick note that the soundtrack on this one, even though it's just a bunch of old like 70s music, is phenomenal.
Yeah. But getting back to I would say there's a twist that happens before the fist fight starts.
Yeah.
And I would say that was pretty fun. But
yeah.
I do think that it kind of takes the gas out of the fist fight because you're thinking, well, Victor Sweet is doomed essentially.
Yeah.
Like he's already screwed over at this point. But yeah, I liked that. So the whole idea was there had been some violence between these the four brothers and then Victor Sweet's whole group. And so the brothers were like, well, okay, why don't we pay you off and then we'll call it good. And so so they meet him there and they give him the money, but I think as Victor Sweet's starting to think, well, I could just, flip the script and take the money and kill you guys anyway. The brothers say, well, we actually decided not to give you the money. Instead, we decided to talk to your mistreated crew workers and give them the money and have them come and work for us, essentially. and just at this moment, and so all of the people who were standing behind Victor Sweet switch and they come and stand behind the brothers or something like that. And this is true because Victor Sweet throughout the movie has just been treating his workers horribly. I think one of them he asks to sleep with his fiance, and it's not even asking, he's saying he gets to and stuff. So he's just kind of a terrible boss, terrible person. And so they use their union hacks to
flip the script.
So I thought that was kind of fun.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. If only unions worked that way, but yeah.
But
no,
that's another throwback to Detroit,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It's
hard to make a Detroit movie without incorporating unions somehow. Unless you're It Follows and you just want to make a horror film. But,
well, yeah. But I do think you gotta admire John Singleton's commitment to Detroit with this movie. So.
Oh yeah. I have a weird fascination with Detroit, with its history and with its kind of image as the center of the working class struggle in the U.S. The landscape. I've always wanted to go visit Detroit. Everyone's like, no, you don't. I was like, yeah, I do. You don't understand. I have been infatuated with this city since I was like, I don't know, 12, 13. Back when I was still listening to my dad's shitty ass conservative talk radio and I hated unions, I was still fascinated by Detroit. So yes, I do want to go visit Detroit.
Have you ever been?
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Neither.
Always wanted to.
I've never been to Michigan. Just there's a whole block of states kind of around Michigan that I still need to visit someday. So.
Well, I mean, Detroit just has a lot of not even that, but music history. I mean, Motown, Jack White, I guess Eminem, although I'm not a huge fan of Eminem. Jay Dilla. I mean, there's a lot of good history there that's even outside of the union stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Danny Brown. Is Danny Brown from Detroit, or am I mixing this up?
I want to... Yes, he is, because he's tied to the Insane Clown Posse. He did a track with them.
Yeah, I remember that he performed
And so did Jack White. Jack White did a track with the ICP too.
Really? I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it's really bad, but it's fun in a Jack White kind of way.
Oh man, I gotta check that out for sure.
Yeah, you should find it. If you search really hard, you can find the episode of the worst ICP songs that The Smell of Music, a old podcast I used to do, episode that we did on ICP, finding the worst ICP songs, and we had an actual juggalo on the show to help us. Yeah, that's for the really avid fans to search out. It's out there. You can find it. It's not widely available. So,
I think I remember that podcast, The Smell of Music.
It's probably on the production level, because I didn't do the production on it. On the production level, it's probably the best podcast I've ever done.
All right.
As far as just like ease of listening and the enjoyment of it, yeah, it's fun.
All right. Well,
so
you got anything else about this movie, Blake?
I love this fucking movie. With all of its flaws, and I fully am aware of the many flaws it has, but man, I can't not love it. So
I love that you love it so much, and yeah. I enjoyed the pick. I'm glad I got to watch it, and I'm glad we got to talk about it.
Put another John Singleton joint into your pocket.
Yeah. It's like Pokemon. I gotta catch them all.
Eventually. I still haven't caught them all.
Honestly, I don't think I've seen that many John Singleton movies. I think he directed the second Fast and Furious, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. I think that's the only other John Singleton movie that I've seen. So
yeah.
And that includes his most famous one, Boys in the Hood. So yeah. I haven't seen that. So.
That's a great film. Yeah, that's his. It's easily his best film. But he's a good director. His material, for whatever, I think there might have been a lot of studio interference or just inability to put out the stuff he wanted to put out. Who knows? I don't know, but it drops off pretty significantly at a point. So, but even then, like if you watch even his less than stellar stuff, he's got a vision. He's got a singular vision, mm-hmm. And I always kind of enjoy it. So.
Well, with that, should we say farewell?
I think we should say farewell. But first, Jamison, real quick. Keeping straight?
Straight and narrow.
No, you missed it. You missed it, dude.
I don't remember.
You're supposed to say straight-ish.
Oh, straight.
Keeping straight, yeah. Bobby? Straight-ish.
Straight-ish.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.